Welcome back to another vintage video. I am going to be running back vintage PO today. And the only real change ups I'm doing is I'm going to try out this 4 Commandeer I keep seeing online. I don't know if it's good or not, but people keep playing it, so I assume they have success with it. But the idea behind this is to steal your jewel opponent's jewel and, kind of go from there. So I'm not playing Force of Negations or Mindbreak Traps or anything to cover these slots, and I still wanted to play something for Oath, so I still have the 1 Containment Priest, which also could help for Dredge. So, other than that, it's basically the main board is literally the same that I played last time. Again, I don't want to make too many changes as I go because I'm still not used to the nuances, and I just feel like I need to know the format a little bit better before I just start making drastic changes. So I will see you in round 1.
The NYSE is returning for its 10th installment this summer. Have you ever won a piece of power during a Magic the Gathering tournament? Well, now's your chance. All 5 Moxen, a Time Walk, an Ancestral Recall, and even a Black Lotus will be up for grabs at this tournament. This event will be taking place on June 6th in Patchogue, New York. Worried about playing an underpowered deck? Don't worry. You're allowed to play with up to 15 proxies. Use the link in the description for more information regarding this historic event. I can't wait to see you there. Now let's get back to the action.
Welcome to round 1. Yes, I would like to play first. I would like to reveal Alaris. And this hand seems serviceable, so I'm going to keep it. It would be nice to get down another artifact so I could maybe 4th Aerolingus the following turn, but we'll keep this. I suppose I should play out this Mox Opal for Mindbreak Trap purposes, potentially. Tropical Island, okay. Yep, I'm going to assume Oath until I see another card that tells me otherwise. Alright, so they did not shuffle. Okay, a dress down could buy me a little bit of time. I think between cycling, yeah, I think I want to cycle the Soul Guide Lantern end of turn, even though it takes me 1 mana off Opal, or 1 artifact off Opal, I should say. Demonic Tutor is unfortunate. Now, if they already have the Oath, then this could be getting their land, in which case I might want a Force of Will. But if I'm 4th Aerolingusing, then that's kind of moot. But if that is their plan, then I shouldn't be 4th Aerolingusing because I can't kill them fast enough before they'd get to Oath me. I'm going to let this happen. Yeah, I'm going to take a draw. Lorien revealed. Okay. I didn't cycle, or I didn't fetch because I wanted to just naturally draw a land so I can play a 4th and start putting pressure on. This Black Lotus does help me cast a bigger 4th, so that can stay. So now I'm happy I didn't cycle the Soul Guide Lantern. Strip Mine, interesting. Oh, is this a show and tell? Oh. Oh, a Time Walk. Okay. Ancestral Recall. I'm going to counter this. I assume that this is bait, but we have the dress down if they show and tell. Okay, well, at least they cycled. They spent 3 cards to draw 3 cards. We spent 2 cards too, obviously, but I'd rather them force pitch blue card recall than just recall. Okay, all right. Well, let's hope that they don't have Fluster, Spell Pierce, or Force of Will. Of course, I'm going to assume that they have it, but there's not much we can do about it, honestly. All right. All right, we're just going to concede and go to the next one. All right, so Power Blasts are really good against the Oko aspect and also countering Show and Tells. They usually bring in some number of Null Rods, so we want Portable Holes. We don't really want to be swordsing. Containment Priest is obviously really good. I don't think this is the matchup for Commandeer. I think this is just literally for Jewel. Obviously, you know, it's quote unquote cool to steal their recall, but I'm not gonna play for that. We can get rid of the Soul Guide Lantern. Let's see. The Dress Down's still fine. If they're bringing in Null Rod, I could counter by taking out some number of my artifacts, but I don't like that because we have Flame of Anor and Portable Holes. All right, last time I didn't take out a bunch of Thunder Trap trainers, so I'll skimp on the Thunder Trap trainers. I still want to keep a couple. Yes, I would like to play first. Yes, I would like to reveal my Lyris. And this hand seems functional. Okay, they did begin the game with 7 cards, but they have a stop on my upkeep. Okay, there we go. All right. Next turn, we have a stock up that will hopefully find us an artifact plus, ideally, a opal or a sapphire plus PO. That is what we want to see from this stock up, I believe. Opponent has another Ponder. Ponder getting unrestricted was so cool. Thoughtseize. If they Thoughtseize, they're taking the stock up, so I actually think it's correct to Force of Will here. Pitching the chain. Because letting them take my only action and then being able to play around these counter spells, I'm not a fan of. Okay, well, I am going to stock up. Okay, it did resolve. We can get a Tundra and a Force of Will here, maybe? I could take Force of Will Urza's Saga. I think I like Force of Will Urza's Saga because it gets us action and still covers our butt for another spell we may need to counter. So yeah, let's do that. Next turn, we can use the Soul Ring to activate the Saga and leave up either Pyro and Force or just Fluster. Is this a show and tell? Yes, okay. Uh-oh, do they have something back? Okay, no, they do not. All right, let's hope that they don't have an Oath this time. They have another show and tell. We have the Pyroblast. If they have an Oath, that's very, very, very unfortunate. Null Rod. All right, let's get a Meticulous Archive. Huh, that's funny. That's a PO. It's too bad Portable Hole can't be gotten off of Urza's Saga. Yeah, I don't think... Yeah, I don't think I want this. Flame of Anor, that's a good one. That I probably, but if they have a fluster, no, I'm not playing into a fluster and just getting blown out. Let's just do this. Let's just hope that Constructs can get there before an Oath can. Here I'm probably going to get Vexing Bauble. Yeah. That way they can't Force of Will if I can rip a land off the top for Flame of Anor. F6. Okay, that is an Oath. It's unfortunate. Let's see if we can rip a Portable Hole. Is that lethal? I think it is, because this can hit face. Oh no, it says the creature. Dang. So I can destroy my own artifact post blocks now, potentially. The only other thing I'm considering is hitting their Null Rod now. But I don't think that's correct. Let's hope that they don't hit Mikey if they're playing Mikey. There we go. Okay. Dang, 45. So are they playing like the 2 Atraxa list? Or I guess, yeah, and 1 Atraxa is in their hand. All right, good game. Didn't think that was going to work, but we'll take it. Let's see here. So I'm going to just put them on the 2 version unless they had 3 Atraxas in their hand. Or a Mikey and 2 Atraxas maybe. I don't think we want to make any other changes. I could see potentially Thunder Trap Trainers because they can find portable holes, etc. But I'm just going to keep it as is. I would like to reveal the Luris. Maybe one day we'll use them. It's a portable hole. We'll keep. We're 1 mana off from starting to cycle Paradoxical outcomes, and we have a Fluster Storm just in case. They have a Mox, okay. Are they going to Ponder for the 3rd time? Yes, they are. Okay. Mox would be nice. Portable hole. Okay. I'm not going to complain about a portable hole. We have Portable Hole Flusterstorm for the first Oath that they play, which is nice. Opponent has a Strip Mine. That's not nice. Null Rod. Yeah, that's annoying. Because now we can't fluster back up the Portable Hole. I will get Meticulous Archive. I will try to hit another land. That's mostly what we want. Just land. No. Straight to jail. Okay, well, it's not the land that I want, but here we are. It's not the end of the world that this gets countered. However, it's going to be really bad for us if we don't hit another. Yep, and of course we could fluster this back if we had a blue source. But as I was saying, if we don't hit another white source, it is going to hurt because they're about to strip mine our white source, I would assume. I hope that they go for the Urza Saga. That's actually a really tough choice for our opponent. Okay, that's awesome. That is awesome for us. Land? Land. Yes, we have a fluster back. And our opponent's pitched twice. Now, if they have their own fluster, then cool, but that would be their last card in hand. All right, we can start POing for 3. It gives them back the null rod, but that's probably fine. Okay, we have Snap Fluster now, which is cool. I think because we have Snap Fluster, we want to just end of turn the PO. I like that idea. I was going to upkeep the PO, which would also turn off their Sapphire, but... Okay. All right, there we go. That's the match. I'll see you next time.
I am proud to announce the 2026 Oklahoma Land Run Weekend, July 10th through the 12th. This event will be held at the Reed Convention Center in Midwest City, Oklahoma. Join me and my vintage family for a weekend of Magic the Gathering events featuring huge prizes and competitive play across multiple formats. Main events include a Vintage, a Legacy, and a Team Trios event including Vintage, Legacy, and Modern. Don't have power? No worries. You can proxy any card currently on the reserve list. This year's artist is none other than the literal legend Nicola Beeson. Beeson will be on site all weekend long and is the designer of this year's playmat. Our game would not have stood the test of time without artists like Nicola Beeson. Please show her some support during the event. In addition to other prizes, the Vintage Champion will receive the original painting of the playmat art, while the Legacy Champion will receive the original sketch of the painting. Side events so far include a High Roller Vintage Cube for Power Thursday evening, at least one old school charity event, a pre-modern challenge also Thursday evening hosted by Game HQ, Duel Commander, and even more to follow. For more information, please use the links in the description to join the Oklahoma Land Run Discord. I'll see you there. Now let's get back to the video.
Welcome back. We are in round 2. I would like to keep my Luris. And by keep, I mean reveal. This hand seems serviceable. Our opponent has a Luris of their own, so either way, I doubt we're going to see a null rod effect game 1. Some lists of the Esper Luris I've seen play like main deck Stony Silence. I haven't seen too many null rod main deck Dimir Lurises. Either way, we have a ton of lands to play around all their wastelands, which is nice. Well, let's... Are we supposed to bobble them for more information? Because this could still be Esper, but obviously this makes me lean towards Dimir just naturally. I could have bobbled myself with the Polluted Delta, which might have been better. Okay, so it's not Dimir Luris. Okay. Deal. I probably should have got Basic Island. Now that I think about it, since Archive's already in my hand, but this is fine. What did they pitch? They pitched Chain of Eight. Okay, so it's the mirror. Samir, and they shuffled away a Mox Emerald, which I'm happy for because it's going to make their POs worse. And now we have Thundertrap Trainer. That's very nice. Okay, another Volcanic. Let's play the Thundertrap. Opal doesn't do much for us anymore. So I guess I'll take a Flame of Anor. And then I'm going to play the Pluto Delta just so I can at least hold up, appear to hold up like Fluster or Pyro or something. All right, opponent going for a stock up. Well, I wish I did have that Fluster Storm. On my turn, I am very tempted to draw 2 cards using this Flame of Anor since these are different arts. Beggars can't be choosers, and I am still borrowing cards from Tyler. So, anyways, as I was saying, I'm very tempted on my turn to draw 2 and destroy that Mox Sapphire. Since these matchups, for my understanding, comes down to, you know, who has the most jewelry so that their PO... Oh my gosh. Well, they definitely know I don't have a Fluster Storm now. More jewelry? So if we can keep their jewelry in check. I mean, they did Force of Will or Mana Crypt. And they knew we weren't mono-white initiative due to the bobble, so, which can be poor sequencing by me. I'm not 100% sure. Okay. Neither of our decks are graveyard decks. Sometimes these decks board into the Breach combo. Okay. I'll just take a draw. Our own recall. You don't say. I'll get a Tundra here. Red, blue, colorless. Cast. Let's choose. Target player draws 2 cards, destroy target artifact. Target player, target artifact. I assume that this may be countered. Oh, it isn't. Let's see what they have then. Okay. So the Emerald we obviously got shuffled away. The Tundra. Okay, so they have Portable Hole, Academy, PO, and Sink into Stupor. So I'm very happy with my other play. To destroy their artifact. Here, I think I just want to play Volcanic and say go. After I attack, of course. Because I have the Fluster Storm now. They're going to have a ton of mana. They may even PO my, or they may even Portable Hold my Soul Ring. And if they do, it builds up Storm to counter their... Ooh. That's a good draw from them. As I was saying, it would build up Storm for Fluster Storm, but now they know to play around it, so I don't suspect that plan to work anymore. They still will probably... If I were them, I would Portable Hold the Soul Ring. But I am not a vintage expert, so... Okay, they do play the Tolarian, which seemed pretty free. Our decks don't typically play Wastelands, and even if we were to play a Strip Mine, I don't think a lot of these decks are going to opt for a Strip Mine. We're trying to fight on the stack, not on the board. So I don't imagine many, if any, of these decks play Strip Mine. Our opponent thinking, we know every card in their hand. Oh, okay, except for what they drew off Cataxium Probe, obviously. This other Flame of Anor, depending on what happens, is either going to hit the portable hole so I can get back my Soul Ring, or it's going to hit this jet. Stock up for 3 so I can tap them out. Is Flusterstorm to tap them out good enough? Probably not. And what's really upsetting about this is that they can, play out Moxen or whatever, and then just say go when Flusterstorm's not gonna, have a high count. Also, their one draw being stock up was kind of crazy. Off the probe. Yep, that's what I expected. Okay, that's a saga. We don't hate that. Blue. So here I want to draw 2. So let's cast. We want to destroy target artifact and draw 2. Target me, and I really just want my portable hole back, or my Soul Ring back, honestly. Yep, is this a sink into stupor? Oh, fluster. Okay, yeah, their stock up hitting fluster is kind of gross. All right, here. I'm gonna recall. Okay. And then we're just gonna say go, unfortunately. Not hitting any mocks in there is kind of brutal. I suspect that we're going to lose this now. Into another stock up, gross. It's not going to take much to get me to concede. We know that they have Paradoxical Outcome in their hand. Yep. Let's just pack it up. I'm not a fan of the Hexing Squelcher, which is why I haven't tried it out yet. The list that I pulled didn't have them, and I'm not going to force that into the deck currently. All right, so we definitely want the POs. We don't... I mean, I guess they're technically... I can Swords a Squelcher. I can also just Portable Hole a Squelcher, though. And as the last game showed, portable holing opponents' Moxen and such is not a bad thing. But I think I'd rather have these in because they can hit the Squelchers, as I said. Dress down, we're not really a dress down deck. We can, and by dress down deck, I mean, this isn't necessarily what it's for. But to continue what I was about to say is that we can instep this to turn off their Lurrus if we ever get to a Lurrus duel. Which, that's like plan F. Like that's so far down the what we want to be doing. Yeah, let's try this. But it is a blue card, so that's nice. Yes, I'd like to play first. Yes, I'd like to reveal my Lurrus. Okay. Our clocks are almost exactly. In fact, when I started talking, they were exactly. All right, seems like another reasonable hand. We'll keep. Turn 1 Thunder Trap Trainer. Mox. Tundra. This can find a Force of Will if we need it, which is why I value it over the Mana Vault. It literally is our only option. Fantastic. Fantastic in the fact that we have a option to specify. In real life, I would, ponder that decision for, 5-ish seconds, make it look like there's other options. Okay. We have Flame of Anor to destroy some of these things, so I'm not too worried. Sure. That kind of protects our 4th Aerolingus now that we can just go for. If they want a PO, then cool. I guess they get to PO. All right. So I really like the idea of 4th Aerolingusing here because we're not guaranteed a second red source anyways. If they have Force of Negation, they have to crack their Lotus for it. And of course they can crack their Bauble and then force, but then we can force back. Obviously if this is Fluster, then we get got, but this is the hand we're dealt. This is the way I choose to play it. Okay. If they had Fluster, I feel like they would have made this decision a lot faster. Okay, they are cracking the Bauble, so they can force this, which means they don't have negation because they could have cracked the Lotus. Yep, which they knew I had the Force of Will, so. Man, if only our last card was blue. If our last card was blue there, how crazy would that have been? All right, let's have our opponent play a stock up on us. That's what I thought. At least they're down to low resources. Their 3 mana versus my 3 mana. It is kind of crazy. I mean, if they didn't have another option, obviously I don't know the remaining cards in their hand, so they clearly thought this 4th Aerolingus would kill them. But yeah, that's a lot of gall to sink into Stupor the Force of Will. I would have been kind of tempted to sink into Stupor the 4th. Of course, we can 4th for 1 the following turn, quote unquote guaranteed, but they get to untap and maybe find another answer. Because I think they just, if that's the way they played it, that tells me that they were quote unquote dead to the 4th Aerolingus, and they just literally put the game on me having a blue card. If I draw a land here, I will buy the Lurrus. If I don't, I'm not. Okay, I will buy the Lurrus. Maybe our opponent can lose some flips along the way. They did. Awesome. Squelcher? Sure. That is unfortunate. Yep, because this can't be countered. Maybe we'll draw a portable hole soon. A recall, okay. Squelcher definitely seems good in the mirror. And we can't attack through it anymore. Drawing all these forces is not going to help. All right, let's see if they lose another flip. They did not. This is stock up. Oh, it's a time walk. Okay. Not the end of the world unless it's followed up by a stock up. Snapcaster recall. Okay. Yeah, I think we lost this one. And to be fair, in my defense as well, they had to have Hexing Squelcher and action. Like, if they just have the Hexing Squelcher, you know, their deck doesn't do anything. And obviously, if they have the action without this, then I think that we're winning because they wouldn't be chaining off all these recalls right now. So this doesn't tell me that Hexing Squelcher is the end-all be-all and I have to play it no matter what. This is more so currently I'm reviewing it as a results oriented. They had the Squelcher and the recall, good for them type thing. But of course, you know, opinions will change as I play more games. And I reserve the right to change my mind, as most people should. I just like my cards, you know, doing something where this is just a 2-2 if I'm not, you know, actively winning the game. Yep. Just stocking up through their deck. If they find a PO eventually, then obviously, you know, ooh, portable hole. What's that taken out? Sure. Okay, well, the land there is kind of annoying. I guess I should have pyroblasted the Snapcaster Mage before the portable hole trigger resolved. But I guess we can just go to my turn and do it. Let's see what we draw first. It's a PO. Pay the 2 life. Let's see if they counter. This forces them to block with their Hexing Squelcher. Force of will back, eh? Alright. Well, I'm not willing to trade Luris for Snapcaster Mage, so here we are. They won another flip. Unfortunate. And if they have PO here, we're just dead. This, oh, nope, it's not a PO. Thunder Trap Trainer. That makes more sense. Yep, and now... Yeah, them winning that last flip, Mystic Remora. Okay. Them winning that last flip means if they find PO here, they can not lose because they can pick up the Mana Crypt. Mox Pearl. Okay. Mystic Remora, I assume. Yes. All right, we just have to hope that they don't find a PO. Which, I mean, maybe they board out POs in the mirror. I don't know. Maybe I'm not playing PO, maybe I'm playing Breach. I mean, I know the PO from the game one, obviously. I just meant maybe they boarded into the Breach. That's what I meant by that. Because again, I had, like I talked about before, I have seen lists board into Breach before, so. No. Really? Okay, well. Let's see if they want to lose the flip. What is this? Oh, and a braid. I guess I'll give them a card for that. All right. They're at 2. They need a PO to pick it up, or it's a 50-50. Yeah, this looks like the fastest PO of all time. Oh, it's another Thunder Trap? No. Oh, a 4th that we can't counter. Okay. Good game. Welcome to round 3. I will reveal my Luris. This hand seems serviceable. We're not even all in on stock up resolving either because we have Urza Saga and multiple Moxen. Unfortunately, I think I will play into Mindbreak Trap because I want to cast stock up and then either, you know, play the Saga and go for that, or, you know to leave up another land. And if I go Island, Mana Crypt, stock up, which is what I would do otherwise, then, you know, depending on what I get off of stock up and if it resolves or not, Urza Saga has to wait a whole nother turn. Excuse me for my burping. Well, we'll get priority eventually. All right, there we go. They mulled to 6. We have this beautiful Luris companion over here. What could our opponent be on? City of Traders. Okay, so Raker shops potentially. Or just shops in general. Patchwork Automaton, sure. Yep. Phyrexian Revoker. Okay, well, they're not going to name their own Mana Crypt. They're probably going to name Black Lotus, I would imagine, because I'm a Luris deck. And the Black Lotus is good with all decks, obviously, but Luris abuses it the most. So I imagine this is going to name Black Lotus. Yes, they named Black Lotus. Good. We don't have one of those. Let's go to our turn, please. And we draw one. That's funny. Okay, so here, I think I'm just going to play the Mana Crypt Mox Sapphire like we talked about and play the Saga and hope that they don't have a... hope that they don't have a Wasteland or Strip Mine. Opal Thundertrap Trainer? Yeah, let's go with that. That sounds great. Any order. Cast. Resolve. Let's see. So Force of Will, Chain of Vapor, or Fourth Aerolingus. Here we probably just race with fourth, right? That seems great. I will play Saga. I won't play the Lotus because they might be tempted to just attack all in. Since I did, quite literally everything else, they may be like, oh, okay, they had everything but the Black Lotus. Let's just attack for damage. Plus, they may be tempted to attack in too, just because it's one less thing I can PO. Okay, they lost their flip. Phyrexian Revoker, that's unfortunate. Let's see what this one names. Probably, I guess they wouldn't name Mana Crypt. Maybe they name Opal. And if they name Opal, then they kind of got me off the 4th Aerolingus. Yeah, I think they're supposed to name Opal. I don't have Boros mana yet, and Opal's the only one. Now, of course, we have more lands in play. But maybe they think that we don't have another land to get the 4th Aerolingus. I'm not sure. Either way, turning off their own Mana Crypt is kind of insane, in my opinion. Tails, we lost as well. Oh, that's a PO. That is a PO. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, let's Black Lotus. So I'm trying to think. I could tap the 4th Aerolingus, pick everything up. That's probably what, or tap the Urza Saga, I mean. So I can 4th Aerolingus next turn. The alternative is that I crack Black Lotus for white or red, and then leave some of it floating. But then I'm drawing one less card. All right. I mean, yeah, I have the Tolarian Academy now. That's kind of insane. White. Swords this. Just going to keep casting these Moxen. Okay, there we go. I do appreciate opponents doing that. Because we know what's going to happen. They know what's going to happen. Let's just move on. All right, Portable Holes. Yes, please. We don't need Soul Guide. I could see bringing in Pithing Needle for Wasteland. But let's see how the rest of this goes. We're on the draw, so I don't like Vexing Bauble here. We need to be mindful of Mindbreak Trap. They seem to be a typical aggro shops, so I don't want Mental Misstep. Dress Down can turn off Phyrexian Revokers galore. Okay, so we do actually have one more stop. So maybe we do play the Pithing Needle for Wasteland then. Okay, let's try this. Let's reveal Lurrus. Alright, now we're going to have to play against a bunch of Null Rods and such, I assume. But, this is a turn 1 4th Aerolingus, right? Ruby, Volt, Opal, Land, 4th for 3. We'll keep. And then if they don't Null Rod us, I guess actually the Snapcaster, because we won't have the Mana Vault back yet, so never mind. I was going to say we could 4th Aerolingus again, but we're actually miles away. Okay. Couple of Moxen. I'm not too upset. Oh, okay. I'm not too upset if they go Revoker, because I don't know if they're going to name any of these. Mana Crypt, okay. Trinisphere. Well, that's definitely a reason to not keep a hand like this, but I think turn 1, 4th Aerolingus for 3 was worth trying. Play Scalding Tarn, say go. We can find our Chain of Vapor or Sink into Stupor. We'll be golden. Flame of Anor, etc. Luckily, we drew fetch land, so we can play around their double wasteland. That's kind of incredible. Hey, look, there's our Force of Will. Now, I do have real outs, which is why I'm not conceding. This is a totally perfectly fine game to play from. The unfortunate part is that if I draw a non-fetch land, I'm going to have to consider just cracking all my fetches and playing out the Ruby or the Mana Vault. And I can't counter that. Okay, that might do it if I don't draw like Flame, Sink, or Chain of Vapor like right now. Yeah, let's just go to the next game. I could obviously just play land there, but then I have to draw another land and still the other cards I'm thinking about because they're gonna wasteland me. So okay, we do like having the Pithing Needle. And for the record, I would keep that hand again. Imagine if that was the game 3 and we're on the play. You know, we're just gonna 4th Aerolingus them for 6, and we're winning that game by miles. So I do like the keep. And here I'm just gonna keep everything the same. Yes, I like to play first. Yes, I like to reveal Aluris. This is not a turn 1 4th Aerolingus for 3. In fact, this is not much of anything. Yeah, we'll mulligan. We'll go to 5. Okay. We'll keep this. We need to put some cards back. This is our mull to 5. So we can stock up and Thunder Trap Trainer, and that's probably where we need to be for this. So let's bottom those. Probably getting Island here. So here I'm going to buy Luris. Play Luris. Pray they don't have Mindbreak Trap. If they do, it's probably over. Okay, they don't. Thank God. Now we're going to stock up. I would love to find a Force. No. I guess second stock up in case they can't stop the Lotus, and Urza Saga, so if they stop the Lotus, we could at least Thunder Trap Trainer. Alright. That was not a bad mulligan to 5. I honestly can't complain. The only thing I could have done a little bit different was keep the Force of Will instead of the Thunder Trap Trainer. Chalice on 0, that's fine. We would have played more Moxen had we had it. Oh yeah, no, I'm sorry. I'm an idiot. Black Lotus, not fine. Strip mine on the island, okay? Well, at least we still have a clock on them so far. And if we had a Hexing Squelcher for what it's worth, we can play through the Lotus, assuming we got other mana. Always yield. No. All right. So this is CMC 1. So it's not going to get countered by the Chalice. It's not like Vexing. Oh, okay. Vexing Bauble is what I was going to say. If they go like Workshop and a Null Rod here, it's going to be really upsetting. Foundry Inspector. Okay, well, we can't attack anymore with Luris. Blue land, please. Blue land one time. Blue land one time. Nick, give me the blue land, please. Nope, it's because I said Nick. That's why. Alright, well, at least we have a Force of Will for our next thing. And then we can float mana here and get Sapphire and Thunder Trap, maybe. Yeah, obviously we're not blocking. We need to find an answer to this Chalice of the Void. I do feel good that we have a Force of Will, though. I probably have to Force of Will the stock, or pitch the stock up, because I can get okay, yeah, that's getting countered. Because I can get Sapphire with Urza Saga, and that's a guaranteed Thunder Trap trainer, where I have to draw a blue source to get Soul Ring in order for stock up to be good. So I think I'm going to go with the guaranteed I get to do this versus the not guaranteed. Speaking of Soul Ring. Now, of course, if I draw a Soul Ring or a blue source, you know, that's unfortunate, but that's also unfortunate. That's a lot of beatdowns. Scrawling Crawler, okay. Sphere of Resistance. Okay, so now we can't play our Thunder Trap without drawing mana. Alright, blue source, island right now. Island right now. Not Mana Crypt. I guess here I need to get Pithing Needle on the Saga. Is that even... That's not even a winning line, because they just attack me for 3 every turn. I'm going to get Soul Ring. And just hope that we draw blue. Flame of Anor? No. That's kind of named Soul Ring. Okay, we're done. I'll see you next round. Welcome to round 4. I will reveal my Luris. We are on the draw. This is a functioning hand of Magic the Gathering cards. Our opponent is on Luris. I will decide to keep. Looks like our opponent is still deciding if they want to keep. Mulligan is 6 cards. We will keep. That's a bauble. Okay, they get to do the bauble trick on themselves. They are targeting... Oh, no, they're targeting us. Okay. Mox? Okay, they see a Flame of Anor. Blooded Strand, Mox Emerald. We're going to get a Tundra here, I believe, because we have a Swords. Okay, so I can either take Force, which I don't like as much, or Soul Ring, which turns on more of our hand. I'll take a Soul Ring, and I'll play out this Opal. Okay, we might be the mirror. For what it's worth, I do think I was supposed to go basic Island Emerald against Luris. The bauble does kind of show that it might be the mirror, but I think the correct play was actually Island this and save the fetch land. I was just being overzealous. So for those paying attention at home. What is this? Oh, and a braid. Okay, I respect that. I also respect drawing stock up. Is this a force? Wow. Okay. Yeah, we're okay with that. Our opponent playing very aggressively here in the mirror. As I said in a previous game, controlling their mana is very important. Let's hope that we can just naturally draw another land. Oh, Corey Steelcutter. Mox? Oh, Bauble. Another Bauble. Okay. So this is a different deck entirely. Also, I didn't pay attention to what they pitched, which was a Flusterstorm. Gotcha. Hopefully they see a land. I'm just going to Swords this now. I understand it's not great, but that's fine. Okay, that's a land. Yes. Their last two cards are a force blue card, then good for them. So Delta Thundertrap Trainer or no? I guess Delta Force, which is funny, but yeah, I think Delta Force. I think we're in control of this game currently. I'd like to remain in control. And now we have Flame of Anor, so we can kill the Corey Steelcutter and draw 2 cards. I'm not blocking currently because, again, I want to be able to Flame of Anor. Expressive. I will force that. Pitching the dress down. Hopefully this taps them out. They can't fluster. Oh, okay. Well, if the last card's fluster, then so be it. Yeah, because this lets me make this an archive. Draw 2 cards, destroy an artifact. I either play around Fluster, which they've already pitched, or I play around a Force of Negation, which they've already done as well. I guess if they have... Okay. I think I just upkeep this. Because if they have Force, it taps them out. If they don't have Force, then I play around the Fluster. Or a Spell Pierce. Target player draws 2 cards to destroy target artifact. Target player artifact. Okay, it worked. Of course, the archive is now in our hand. That's kind of brutal. Okay, but there's a recall, so no more complaining from Edward, I guess. We'll get a Volk. We'll play the Meticulous Archive first. We'll put this in our graveyard because Laris can get it back later. Let's recall us. Mental misstep. Okay. What am I doing? There we go. Lotus. White. White. Buy. Get back the Lotus. Next turn we can get back the Emerald. I'm not going to get back the Mana Crypt unless it matters. Okay. Their last card was a Braid. That's fine. Now I imagine that they're going to buy Laris on their turn. Stock up. That's a good one. Two cards. Another bauble. Soul Guide Lantern, Force of Negation. Okay. Not going to play the Volcanic Island. Have to at least keep up appearances. This can go away. Hopefully they just play Soul Guide Lantern and not buy Laris. I'd rather them just exile something. Oh, they drew... Oh, okay, they're leaving up Force of Negation. Yep. I don't even... Oh, yeah, I do have the quote-unquote ugly Tundras to fetch. Okay, they drew another land. Which is obviously good for them. Yep, hitting the Laris. I am going to fetch. I don't want to draw lands. Tundra. All right. Time Walk. The classic, do I cast Time Walk or do I say go? I'm going to cast it. Thunder Trap Trainer. And that can't be Force of Negation. So we have a PO. And we have a Flame of Anor. I assume that they're not going to crack so they can play around Force of Negation. Or play around Flame of Anor because of Force of Negation. But they know our last two cards in hand, so it's not much. Okay, they're going to cycle. As I say, if they cycle, I'll Flame of Anor in response. Okay, well, we got to get this out. eventually, so. Yep. Okay, they let that go. Cool. They let that go. So here, let's Vexing Bobble. Let's Soul Guide Lantern, exiling the Corey Steelcutter. This is, where is this, my grave? Yeah, that's my graveyard. I want their graveyard. Corey Steelcutter. There we go. No response. All right, so here I can Merchant Scroll for Fluster, because they can't pitch cast. I could also just PO, let them counter it, and then, so yeah, 4, and then Merchant Scroll for another PO. Let's undo. Let's go to combat. Get the attacks in before we pick up the non-tokens, of course. This is assuming that, everything resolves. PO, the card that they know about, which I think is the correct line to do first. Give them the least information possible. This is probably going to eat a force. Okay. And I didn't want to Merchant Scroll for Fluster in case they had their own Fluster and were able to do some shenanigans. So now, Merchant Scroll for PO again, do it all over again. I guess the Black Lotus won't be picked up, but that's fine. All right, next game. We want the Pyros. We want the portable holes. I didn't see very many creatures, but they could sideboard into more creatures. We didn't get to really try out the Commandeer plan, unfortunately. Of course, we still have the 5th round, maybe play against Jewel Van. So I do like Soul Guide Lantern as a one-of. Let's trick them, make them think that we have multiples in our deck. Yeah, I actually don't. That's one of the pro things about playing decks that are off meta, is that your opponents, now I'm not one of those, but your opponents that are like, hardcore vintage grinders that, have their sideboards all mapped out and everything, they're not going to have quote unquote perfect information to know what to sideboard exactly. And that's a big plus. I suspect that they're a Null Rod deck. Remember that their Corey Steelcutters don't activate, they can just trigger. Am I supposed to cut forth Aerolingus? That seems wrong. I guess I don't like Soul Guide Lantern that much. And I guess maybe the dress down, because again, yeah, I'm not sure. Let's go with this, and if we need a third game, we can reevaluate. All right, let's reveal Luris. Okay. This hand functions, but not enough. Mulligan. All right, we'll keep this. We will put back the opal. Mox Pearl, fancy. I love these. I can't wait to get these, but they're way too expensive to warrant me getting them right now. Okay. Oh. Well, our line's not necessarily going to change depending on what they see or depending on what we see. So this is basically just maybe I top deck like a Thunder Trap trainer. So here I'm just going to play Sapphire land and say go. And let the probe be my force pitch card. Unfortunately, I can't keep I can't get Meticulous Archive here because I need a red source for Flame of Anor. Alright, they got that going for them. Chain of Vapor, that's actually not a bad one. Yeah, because now I can bounce their construct. Now, I suspect that this is going to get a Vexing Bauble after making another construct. But then that means our Flame of Anor is free. And by free, I mean we can cast it. Okay, no, they get Soul Ring. Okay, are they going to buy Luris? They stock up. I would like to respond. If I get Meticulous Archive here and don't hit a red source, it's just so bad. Okay. So that one can get Meticulous Archive, I suppose. I do want to do this now while they're tapped out. It is unfortunate that I feel the need to kill their 3/3. I'm sure some number of you are yelling at me, but I think if I draw cards here, miss, and don't get this clock off the table, I can just get absolutely hosed. We're here, now we dealt with their Urza Saga. They can't have another one. So, and I have Force of Will up to deal with their next threat. I'm going to force this. I think this Expressive Iteration is way more valuable than my Gataxian Probe. Okay. I don't hate that line. As far as like from our side. I think that's acceptable. Okay, they get an Emerald from exile. And then they bought the Luris. Okay. Meticulous Archive. We need a stock up here. Not a Vexing Bubble. Put in the graveyard. Go to my turn. What does Snapcaster Mage do? Nothing. It gets a Flusterstorm. I'll buy Lurrus. I'm not saying that Flusterstorm's not valuable to be able to cast here, but I'm just going to hope that they can't combo me. And I don't think they're a combo deck. I could be wrong. Stock up, okay. So yeah, the Fluster wouldn't get this anyway so far. Now, if they stock up again, then obviously I could have attempted to Fluster the second one. Mox Opal, okay. Soul Guide Lantern on the Vexing Bauble, I would imagine. Yep, that's unfortunate. Lurrus. Yep. Now they can float mana, cycle the Soul Guide Lantern, replay the Soul Guide Lantern. Cycle it. Oh, no. Okay. Well, I will just say go then. And Ambush Viper this Lurrus, maybe. I imagine Soul Guide Lantern is getting cycled here. Yes. It's too bad I didn't draw a land. Drawing a land for the Flame of Anor would have been incredible. Getting rid of the Scalding Tarn doesn't make any sense to me. Now, I assume that this is not going to live through combat. Well, it's not going to live through combat regardless, but you know what I mean. Does this say PO in response? Force of Will, okay. Let's draw two. Another Force of Will. Force of Negation, close enough. Okay. This one probably hits the Snapcaster Mage, I would imagine. Okay, Soul Guide Lantern. Yep. Time Walk, okay. Down to 11. Cycle again. And this is why the dress down is so important. Now, I don't have the mana to be doing it, but Lauren revealed. Let's just move on. All right, so we did see Hexing Squelcher, but I still just like the portable holes for that. I don't think we're going to be seeing Null Rod effects now that I've seen more of their deck. So we can cut the chain. Bring in a Soul Guy, or I guess I'd bring in a down or dress down first. But I could also cut Sink into Stupor. Let's do that. Would you like to play first? Yes. I would like to reveal Lurrus. Yes. I mean, this hand functions. Let's keep. Opponent also kept 7. Let's bobble ourselves. Misty Rainforest. We don't want that. Well, that's just Meticulous Archive. We'll keep that on top. I don't want to pitch the Flame of Venor, but if we have to, we have to. Mox Emerald. Mox Pearl. It's not great for us. Okay, they do fetch. And they're not buying Luris, so they have something to do. Let's play the Soul Guide. Let's hit their Scalding Tarn. I will happily pitch Force of Will. I'm sorry, Snapcaster Mage to Force of Will if I have to. Excuse me. Okay. That worked. Saga again. That's unfortunate. Excuse me. Oh, recall of our own. You don't say. I'm going to play out the Volk. This plays around a Force of Negation because they don't have another blue yet. It is unfortunate, obviously, if we draw a Thunder Trap Trainer, but Pyroblast, that's kind of brutal. Let's draw a card. Maybe we hit a... Nope. Okay. I was going to say a Mental Misstep or Fluster. I guess Fluster wouldn't have done it. Never mind. Okay. Now we're just going to draw 2 cards. If they have a Force of Will here, it is going to be really annoying. Okay. I did choose to leave up Tundra instead of the Pyro. Okay. It's going to be a big boy. Dress Down would be a really nice draw. We did put that back in the deck. Soul Guide Lantern, okay. Hitting our Soul Guide Lantern. I would love some fast mana. They buy Luris. That makes sense. We're going to take 6. We are dead next turn. Yep, that's game. Welcome to the 5th and final round. I won the die roll. Yes, I'd like to play first. Yes, I would like to reveal my Luris. I mean, this is a turn 1 Thunder Trap Trainer into Flame of Venor if we can find any Mox that's not named Opal or a land, so let's keep. We have Chain of Vapor in case something goes wrong. Let's play the Ruby. Let's play the Island. Let's cast this. Our opponent doing the good old F6, try to get us. And then, of course, stop F6ing. Yep. Hitting fluster here is kind of unfortunate. I would have much rather hit a Mox. Don't show me Bazaar of Baghdad. Okay, Badlands. Lotus Petal. This could be Storm. Dark Petition Storm. Deathrite Shaman. Okay. Well, Tundra has become the best card in our deck. Let's draw it. That's a Volk. Okay. Let's... Target player draws 2 cards, deal 5 damage. Yes, no, maybe. Okay, Pyroblast. That's fine. No attacks. Say go. Tundra there would have been much better. Being able to just Swords the Deathrite Shaman and leave up Fluster for whatever. Alright, they don't have a land drop. Let's just Time Walk. I don't want to sit here and keep giving what appears to be this fair deck more time. I guess... No, the Chain of Vaporing here is just so egregious. Mental Misstep. Okay. Not doing much. Yes, I know I can buy the Luris, but I don't know what they can be playing. I want to be leaving up the Fluster and or the Chain. Okay, Wasteland is kind of brutal here. I'll fake them out with a... make them think I have a red card. Okay. Also, they didn't eat end of turn. Okay, now they're eating the land. Sure. Let's hope I can fluster this. Green. Is this collector? Oof. Okay. Sure. And this is why we kept the didn't Chain of Vapor earlier. Stock up's a little bit too late. Losing from this position is going to feel really bad from my end. Yep, that's fine. We take the 2. Wow. Okay. I assume our opponent just has a handful of Pyroblasts and Dothy Voidwalkers and more Collector Oofs, probably. We really need to hit a white source as soon as possible. Another Paradoxical Outcome deck. That's not what we need. Not what we need at all. Oh, that's not what I wanted to do. I wanted to move the discard. There they go. Oh my gosh. Just let me discard, please. All right. If we can hit... Even another Volk, I can ambush Viper and a Snapcaster Mage. Land, please. It's a Tyrant Academy. Okay. Alright, opponent is finally consistently eating my yard. Good for them. Bad for us. Please don't have a wasteland. Of course they have a wasteland. I guess I'll just play out the Snapcaster Mage now. I really wanted them to go to combat and do it, but here we are. This might hit a Pyroblast, in which case I'll Mental Misstep. Our opponent apparently sandbagging Wastelands instead of playing them out, but I guess they don't need to play them out. Can we please get a white source? This is a white source. Tundra. Play the Tundra. Swords the Plowshares. Hopefully this resolves. Their hand is like mono blue cards. I am gonna be tilted. I'll admit. Like if this is just Force of Will, because I didn't play around that option by waiting. But because of the nature of that white source, I felt like we kind of had to do it there. Because if, you know, they can force the hand by having a third wasteland. Yep, exile the swords, I assume. Yes. Okay, if they don't have another oof, then we can stock up and maybe start doing things. But we are running out of time. Another Deathrite Shaman. Okay, that's probably good for us. All right, let's stock up. Sink into Stupor is absolutely hilarious here. Again, if they have, yeah, if they have a Pyroblast, I will Mental Misstep. Going to 6. Okay, so I can... So do I just hope that they can't kill me? I probably have to take a Force of Will, right? And is Force of Will Mana Crypt better because I have a PO, or is Force of Will Recall better? The Recall, I think, is better. And let's take Mana Crypt. I have Chain of Vapor, so I don't have to force. So yeah, let's take the Mana Crypt. And unfortunately, in case they have double Black Source, I can't shock in this Sink into Stupor. Or bolt it in, I mean. I guess before playing my land, I could have attacked and seen if they wanted to block. Because if they block here now, I'll be kind of upset that I played my land already tapped. Okay. I'm not too scared of another collector oof. I don't really care about a Dauthi Voidwalker. Force of Vigor. Okay. Sure. And then what they pitch to that? They pitched a Knight of the Reliquary. That gives us a ton of information. You know what? I wonder if they did that because I floated red off the volcanic island earlier. Because they might think I still have a red card in my hand. If they're paying attention to that and did that because of that, that's such a win. I think it's a win regardless because we don't have a red card and they 2-for-1 themselves there, but... Okay, they are exiling a wasteland. Is this a collector oof? No, it's 3 mana. Oh, a Rana map. Okay. And now they could replay the wasteland. Okay. That is annoying. Sure. All right. Let's hit something good. Undo. So I can mana crypt land PO for 3. I'm gonna probe them and go to 3. I'm just gonna try to win here. Okay, that's unfortunate. Cast. Wow. Okay. Well, I guess I should have force of willed the Rana map excavator, but I was just trying to go for the win there. It didn't work out, unfortunately. All right, so we definitely want the swords. We definitely want the portable holes. Oops, don't want the containment priest. This can ambush Viper, a collector oof, but I don't really care about that. Tabernacle may not be a bad include, but that just seems so bad. Like, I think we're supposed to just press our advantage in this matchup and just run them over with our superior blue deck. Dress down seems amazing. We definitely want our extra land. Mental Misstep seems less amazing. I guess we don't really need Soul Guide Lanterns. We don't need Vexing Bauble either. All right, let's try this. Let's just try to vintage our opponent. All right. Yes, I would like to play first. Yes, I'd like to reveal Luris. Force of Will, Flame of Anor eventually. Sure. I will just play Archive. This is a quasi-loose keep, but it functions. We have lands. We got wastelanded out of that first game very embarrassingly, so I don't want that to happen again. Results oriented, I'm aware, but that's where we're at. They did mulligan to 6. We'll put that in the yard. I don't mind if they wasteland me here. Savannah. Lotus Petal. If they collect our oof, I will just force pitching outcome. Excuse me. I would like this Flame of Anor to be able to draw me 2 cards. I don't want to use it to just shoot down a collector oof at this stage. We have 4 swords and 2 portable holes for that. Ren and 6. No thanks. This probably gets pyroblasted. Red Elemental Blast. Okay, sure. They've already played their land, so that's fine. But I assume that they have a wasteland, or even if they don't, if they ever draw one, we're just never gonna have lands again. Valerian Academy. Okay, that's a decent one. Can be, at least. Here I am just gonna draw 2 cards. Okay. Even if they wasteland me next turn, we can still stock up. If I can hit multiple Moxen, then we can maybe Time Walk as well. We do have a Bauble in our yard for Luris. Is another option. Okay. I kind of hope they just spend their turn drawing a card, then picking back up their land. If this is a collector oof, it's not the end of the world. Okay, that's fine. Yep. Okay. I could Merchant Scroll for Force of Will here, but I'll just get Recall. I'll get another Tundra, so that way we can hopefully find something. Let's stock up. And let's try to find portable holes and other Moxen. Snapcaster Mage. If I take Opal Snapcaster Mage and I don't get Wastelanded, which they currently don't have, I can Snap Flame. I think that's worth playing towards. I don't want to show that I got an Opal, so even though it could play into a Vexing Bauble, I'd rather not. Please don't have a Wasteland here. Okay, not a Wasteland. And they currently don't have Red Elemental Blast up either. They only have 1 land in hand. They only have 1 card in hand. They did mulligan to 6, so okay, and we're going to know what it is. Knight of the Reliquary. That finds red, unfortunately. Okay. Let's cast. Let's cast. Let's Academy. Let's 3 Snapcaster Mage. Let's target Flame. No response. Let's Flame. Cast. I could kill more things, but I'm not going to. Let's just draw 2 cards and deal 5 damage. Cast. Target. Target. Red. Blue. Okay. Let's Time Walk. Scroll for PO and probably win. I would imagine. Especially after we get another land out of our deck with this Polluted Delta. Okay, Black Lotus was excellent. Cast. Blue. I guess I don't need the red as much, maybe. I don't know. We'll see. All right. Let's hit all the cards. Wow, we drew just mono removal. That's really funny. Let's hit the Renin 6. Let's, for 5, let's Snapcaster Mage. Let's target the PO. No response. Let's float blue. Let's PO. Target all of our things. Let's cast all of our things. I do need to kind of speed up. Okay. Use the black for the Soul Ring. Let's colorless. Let's stock up. Paradoxical outcomes, stock up. Any order is fine. Let's hit this, sure. Blue, 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 blue. PO, returning all my things. Okay, that went straight through my main phase. That's kind of annoying because now I can't fourth Aerolingus. Let's, I guess, buy Lurrus. Let's play Lurrus. Let's play Lotus. Let's crack Lotus. Play the portable. Okay. And then let's just go to cleanup. Let's discard till we have 7. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Sure. There we go. All right. And then now we can fourth Aerolingus. Sure. Cast. Swords. 7. Okay, yeah, there we go. Yeah, I really hate that that went through my combat, but that's fine. Okay, so here we're just gonna redo and hope it works. We have 10 minutes, which is plenty of time. I'll reveal the Luris. We have a Force of Will. I don't like the PO here, but this is turn 2 buy replay Luris with Force of Will. And then that's a PO for 3. They did choose to keep a hand with 7 cards. Let's also keep a hand with 7 cards. Okay, let's see how many Moxen they chose to keep. Okay, they got rid of Force of Vigor. I'm okay with that. That means they might have another, but... Oh, Bobble. We can Bobble ourselves. Force of Will. We don't need that. But this does play around Wasteland. But yeah, we'll do this anyways. Let's Meticulous Archive like we did before. Because we have the Ruby for the red source if we need it for now. Time Walk we don't need. I'd rather hit like a Flame of Anor or something, or like an Otter. Or a Volcanic Island. If our opponent goes Wasteland here, I'll be happy we drew the Volcanic Island. Otherwise, it's kind of meh. We have the Force for the Collector Oof, so that's why I'm not too worried about that. That's fine. Okay, so now we are going to play the Volcanic Island. Oh, Pithing Needle. Nice. Let's name Wasteland. All right. I don't think I want to play the Lotus. I don't want to give them more information that we have something. Of course, if they have a Vexing Bauble, it's going to be very annoying. But I would like to just get through this turn, buy and replay Luris, buy and play Luris, and then go from there. Renin 6 is fine. Remember we... Oh, did they forget to uptick? Oh, maybe not. Okay, there they go. All right. Another PO, not what we needed. Let's get the Luris. Cast. Play the Luris. Let's get the Bauble while we can. To just draw more cards. This is a third spell, so they might be considering a Mindbreak Trap here. Which, if they do, then sure, good for them. I'm going to put them on Mindbreak Trap now, which they could be doing this so that I do put them on Mindbreak Trap, but... Oh, Force of Vigor. Okay, so they did have a Force of Vigor there. That's fine. Let's cast... Pitching this. Now, if they have the Mindbreak Trap, it's going to be brutal. Okay. Oh, yeah, and what did they pitch? Another Wren. Cool. Let's see what they draw. Strip Mine? Okay. Sure. We can't stop the Strip Mine lock. That's brutal. I mean, we have Lotus, so we're not out of it, but... Oh, and there's a Swords. Now, unfortunately, Swords can't hit Oof if our Black Lotus is incapacitated. Our opponent probably frothing at the mouth for drawing a strip mine there. They hit the red. Interesting. Yes. So here... Oh, sudden edict. Okay. That's unfortunate. I don't get the Lotus back. Mana Crypt? No, Thunder Trap Trainer. We'll take it. I was going to say, so if I PO, pick up the Pithing Needle, I could name Renin 6 to keep the repeatedness going, because we know that they have Wasteland Strip Mine. But it looks like that's not in the cards. Pearl. I like Pearl. For multiple reasons. Alright. Apparently I should have Force of Willed this Renin 6. But at the time, I don't think it was correct. Sure. They have 2 unknowns. There's the strip mine, unfortunately. Yep. If they play a collector oof, we get to float white and then swords. So I kind of hope they just play a collector oof, honestly. All right, let's get a sapphire, please. Or an opal. Player Academy. Let's attack. I don't think that my Tolarian Academy, or my PO is going to resolve. For what it's worth. What is this? They're thinking about like abrupt decaying? Wow. So their last card has to be PO. See, now this is what's unfortunate about me not playing the Academy out first. Because I could have prevented this. And drawn an extra card. Well, now I'm not. That's really unfortunate. Oh, undo. Draw 3. Mox. Probably... I guess I'm oh, what am I doing? I guess I'm supposed to just... Am I supposed to just name Renin 6 here? Probably. And just let them strip mine me a couple times. That way they can't ultimate it either. And start like abrupt decaying me to death. Now, if they don't play a creature, I can Fourth Aerolingus for 1. I kind of do hope they play a creature, though, so I can just swords it and move on with life. Yep, Wasteland, that's fine. Yep. Oh, they scooped it up. Wait, no, that's not it. What? I'm so confused. Okay, thanks Magic Online for being annoying. Yeah, ending the turn. And wasting more of my clock. Cast. Let's get Island. Now, I could PO first, but that plays into a pyro. I think I'd rather just fourth. I guess I have the mental misstep for pyro, so maybe I'm supposed to PO first and draw 4. Yeah, I like that play better. That was a blunder. A potential blunder. We only know one of their hands, one of their cards in hand, and they're clearly not playing creatures. Bowmasters? Okay. Sure. Let's go to combat. I guess I'm glad I didn't PO then. And I do want to guarantee the whatchamacallit. If they don't collector oof me, I can swords moving forward. I would not mind drawing a force of will off the top. That's a PO that we don't need right now. Okay, they're going to probably strip mine this island. I do need to speed up my game a little bit. I am under 5 minutes now. Yep, there's the strip mine. Imagine if our opponent didn't find the strip mine. This game, I think, is just easy peasy. And there's the collector oof with my Moxen tapped out. Those are brutal. Yep. I don't agree with attacking with both there. I think you're only supposed to attack with the Orcish Bowmasters. Can I please have a Tundra one time? Tundra one time, please. Tundra one time, please. There's no way they block. Yep. And our academy's already gone. Of course, I can only be mad at myself. I should have paradoxical outcomed because I have mental misstep to play around the pyro. Now, these being my next couple of draws obviously would not have helped us much. We'll take 3. Yep. Another Bowmasters. Okay. I was probably supposed to block there. I'm just tilted, honestly. Alright, well, that's a Tundra that's probably too long gone. Am I supposed to stock up or flame here? I'm probably supposed to just stock up. Nope, that's not what I wanted to do. Let's stock up. I am running out of time. I need to make a decision. Mox Emerald Swords. Oh no, dress down. Dress down Mox Emerald. Let's do that. Should have just any ordered this. That was dumb. Don't do that. Play the Mox Emerald. And let's go. Next turn I can dress down and try to do something. Okay, Wasteland, sure. Unfortunately, with this low on time, I doubt they'll concede. I will need to find a Snapcaster Mage. I don't think my Snapcaster Mage is spoken for yet. Okay. I do need to hit another mana source, though, in order for this to work. Demonic Tutor's fine. I can't respond to it even if I wanted to. Maybe this is Demonic Tutor for Wasteland. To hit my Tundra, which would be lights out because Lotus is already gone. I guess I could draw Mana Crypt, so never, so never mind, but it would need to be exactly Mana Crypt. After being in the tank for a while, they make a decision. Is this like Force of Vigor, maybe? If this is like Lightning Bolt and I die that way, that's probably fine. Oh, maybe it's... Oh, you know what? I wonder if it's other Bowmaster. Okay, no, it wasn't. So now I don't have to have Dress Down. Yeah, now I can just PO. That attack was weird, but we take those. Oh, you know what? I can't Portable Hull yet because I need to be able to PO and have Mental Misstep up in case they got Red Blast. Okay, they did have Red Blast. Right, I need to cast all these really fast. Come on. Yeah, now they're doing this just to slow me down. I missed a Portable Hull there, but whatever. Yep, gonna lose to the chess clock, unfortunately. Come on, opponent. Need a blue source here. Need a blue source here. There we go. We can PO. And then we can probably fourth Aerlingus for a bunch to kill them. That's my plan. Come on. This is part of the game when you sign up for Moto, of course. And of course, I could have always, played faster, so I can only be mad at myself if I lose this, but I do still think with even saying all that, I do think it's pretty unsportsmanlike to, do this. But again, that they're able to do that, it's part of the game. Not mad about it. PO. Okay, let's cast everything and make a big fourth Aerlingus in 50 seconds. Oh, come on. Come on. No, really? Wow, I needed one more second. Wait, it says I still have a second. Okay. Well, that was an unfortunate outing. I do really like this deck, and I definitely think I could have played better in some spots that might have turned into an extra win. I did lose to time yet again, although I had attacks declared when the clock hit 0, so I kind of felt like Yugi Moto in the game against Pegasus in season 1. But like I said, that's part of the game. I fully accept that. So uh, I didn't get a chance to check out the commandeers, so I'm gonna keep trying them until I can attempt to see firsthand for myself if I like this card or not. I do like the main board. I don't think the Hexing Squelchers are gonna come in yet. Because even that game that I lost with the Hexing Squelcher, I didn't count. I'm sure you can go back and count if you'd like, but they won a lot of Mana Crypt flips, and with all of that, if they just lost one more Mana Crypt flip, I would have won that game that they Hexing Squelchered and then went off with stock ups and such. So yeah, I would rather just have another action spell and hopefully prevent that scenario from happening. But I do understand that it's very good. That's just my perspective on it currently. And again, I reserve the right to change my opinion on that. If you feel strongly for the Squelcher, by all means, let me know and why. But for now, I will catch you next time. Thank you for watching. Welcome back to another episode of What's on Edward's Wall. Today, I have this Japanese basic island, snow island from Austin Elliott. Austin's one of the Dallas crew. I believe I met them at the Hunter Burton charity event originally. I don't think it was the land run, but either way, Austin, I really appreciate you, and I appreciate this island. Austin is one of those players that, oh, you know what? I just randomly, I think it was a Star City Games event. I don't remember. I'm sorry, Austin. Feel free to say. I know our first game we played each other was Vintage, but regardless, Austin is one of the Japanese language lovers on his Magic cards. So a lot of his cards are foreign and Japanese specifically. I have a few other people and foreign cards on my wall that also prefer the Japanese language on their cards, which is really cool. I really like that. They also kind of altered it to have like the Ancestral Recall and Time Walk and everything, which I really think is cool. Sorry for the glare. But yeah, I really like it. So funny story with Austin. I remember very distinctly that Austin was nice enough to let Brandon Watson and I crash at his house one day. For I think it was the Hunter Burton. It was something to do with Dallas, so I would imagine it was the Hunter Burton. And I remember I was re-sleeving some of my mono white, and I'm sorry, not mono white, but I was playing like blue white initiative, and I was re-sleeving some of the cards. Now I had a stack of my mono white initiative cards as well, and because I was re-sleeving them, like perfect fits and all, none of them were sleeved. I'm sure some of you guys can figure out where this is going. So Austin, his apartment at the time, very minimal, minimalist style, if you will. You walked in and there was a bed, there was a desk, and then there was the kitchen area with like the countertop, and that was about it. So, Brandon and I are standing at the kitchen counter, unsleeving, getting our decks together or whatever, and I'm just stacking cards, whatever. And the stack, cause this is back when I was playing, with foils, and a stack of, vintage foils toppled over the counter. And I would wager 40 plus, maybe even over a deck's worth. So over 60 fell from the counter, so, okay, scuffs, whatever. But Austin's cat, he has a big water bowl, and yeah, 40, 60 plus cards, vintage foils, mostly mono white initiative, thankfully. But yeah, they became sponges that day, and that was very depressing. I immediately was like, all right, well, this is a loss. I guess I'll just dry them out as much as possible and then just vendor them, So that was fun. I just decided to sell out of my mono white initiative, my foils at least. There was some other stuff too, but not too much, but it was well over 4 digits, just lost. I think I was able to recoup like a few hundred, but yeah, not exciting. Yeah. Sorry, that story, even though it is what it is, it's my fault. I shouldn't have done it. I should have I should have taken better care of what I was doing, my surroundings, etc. But I chose not to. I was in a hurry, and that's when mistakes happen. So you got to learn from those, and I did. So yeah, that was a lot of fun. Some other stories with Austin and I involve mostly just epic battles involving Sensei's Dividing Top and other things that are probably going to bore the socks off of you. But Austin, I greatly appreciate our games. I appreciate your friendship, and I appreciate your cat, even though I was dumb and knocked my cards into your cat's water bowl. But you know what? That's what we have story time for. It's a story I'm never going to forget. It's something that I get reminded of every time I see this island. So maybe I won't knock any more expensive foils into, cats, water bowls, etc. And maybe this is a lesson to you to also be careful of that. But Edward, I already know that. I'm not dumb. You don't have to be dumb to make mistakes. So, anyways, Austin, I love you, buddy, and I'll catch you guys next time.